Arnold and asking people if they take creatine or not. All the people want to know.
Okay.
Are you on creatine?
You know.
Are you on it?
Maybe.
Maybe? So at what point did you decide to stop being a natural athlete?
Well, I always thought creatine was one of those things that it came to me naturally.
I'm just giving you shit.
I know you are. I'm trying to give you shit back.
First of all, what's your name? Alonzo, no fucking way. So Alonzo, what everybody wants to know, are you on creatine? At what point did you decide to stop being a natural athlete?
When I got out of high school, it didn't matter.
You're like, I gotta give a fuck. Okay, alright, you guys, me and Paulina are gonna go around the Arnold and ask people if they're on creatine. Are you on creatine?
I'm not on creatine
Why aren't you on creatine?
because I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
I'm a little baby
Why are you a little baby?
because I'm a baby.
See more probably wanted to know, why are you taking
I have creatine.
Have it? Take it now.
How do I take it?
Try it right now. Open the container.
Should I?
Yeah, try something.
And then what?
I don't care. Your own saliva. He has a drink. That's what I thought. Yeah.
There's 2 servings in here.
I don't care.
You're gonna make me die.
No, I'm not gonna make you die. It's fucking creatine.
Well.
Can you give me a heads up?
Sorry, I didn't know. Hey, this is fun. Walk away, bro. I'm gonna walk away now.
Hey guys, so he just killed me, and since he's here, we're gonna talk about creatine because y'all ask me all the fucking time about what creatine, what it is, what it does, when you need to take it, all the things.
Yeah.
So, Spas, what is creatine?
How can I break this down in the most layman's terms? So creatine is basically a compound that you can put in your body to help your body produce more energy, to help you output more effort while you're at the gym. That's as simply as
More effort equals more what?
more gains.
More gains. Creatine equals more gains.
Right. And what creatine is not is a steroid. What creatine is not is a steroid. Right? It is a supplement. It is literally just something that helps your body produce more ATP or helps it recover the ATP that was lost throughout energy expenditure.
Now, quick little science moment. What is ATP?
ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So basically it's an adenosine molecule with 3 phosphate molecules attached to it. So essentially every time your body utilizes ATP for energy, a phosphate molecule is lost. And when you put creatine into your body, it comes in the form of creatine phosphate, and the creatine molecule then lends one of those phosphates over to the ATP to then reproduce the energy that was lost throughout energy expenditure throughout your workout.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yep.
More questions. So, when should you take creatine? Do you need to be cutting, bulking, maintaining? Who should take it?
You should always be on creatine realistically. I mean, some people suggest that you should cycle off occasionally, which, let's face it, we're not the most responsible, and I don't always do that. But you should.
I don't.
Yeah, no, I haven't cycled off of creatine in years. I mean,
No.
it's just a consistent thing. It shouldn't bloat you or force you to retain more water unless you are just somehow genetically predispositioned to retain a lot of water or get negative side effects from the supplements that you're taking. I've never experienced any myself. To even further that point and further support it, I've got guys that go on stage and I keep them on creatine all the way through the peak of their show and onto their stage presentation, and it does absolutely nothing but keep a little bit more energy production and perhaps allow for them to push out a little bit more when they're on prep.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have clients in the first week they might feel a little more bloated, but I tell you guys this all the time, there's a difference between being full and being bloated, 2 different ball games.
And then what do you do with those clients?
So
how do you get it in their system? Is there
for them,
a loading phase or?
I don't do a loading phase.
You don't?
It depends on who it is.
Okay.
I always say 3 to 5 grams. I do it every single day, even on rest days. But it's okay. Let me see what else. So going off of the not even the loading phase, but creatine makes you gain a couple pounds, or it can.
Yeah.
Do you need to be concerned about that?
No, not necessarily. I mean, you're going to retain perhaps a little bit of water, but I don't think it's going to be visible or noticeable in any way. If you see the scale increase slightly, that just means that you're loading your muscle cells with a little bit more water, and it's probably a good thing for energy production at the end of the day.
And if you're trying to lose weight, the weight that you gain from the water weight that you gain from creatine is something that is going to make you look better. So sometimes we get so honed in on the scale. But if your photos look better, who gives a shit if you gain 2 pounds?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see. No. Boom. So many, like, if I'm cutting, losing weight, should I avoid it? No.
You can always take creatine, guys.
Always. This person.
I could go into the loading phase here a little bit because I do a loading phase with my athletes. I treat that a little differently than you.
What do you do for your loading
so,
phase?
like, you could
also keep in mind, this man, he does competition clients too. So
Right,
that's what he's talking about when he's saying stage.
So, I mean, with people who have, like, bigger, like, glyco stores in general and bigger stores in their liver for, like, you know, carbohydrate and just, you know, things in general, like, you do want to kind of put a little bit in to establish that store, like that baseline first and foremost, and then you want to kind of give them a regular dose. So what I'll do typically is about, like, 20 grams for a big guy for about 7 days, and then from there I'll dial them back to anywhere between 5 and 7 grams.
Okay.
But another good way to do it is to go about 10 grams for 20 days. Or for 14 days, roughly.
Yeah.
14 to 20.
I did that like when I first started, like back in the day.
That's like a modest loading phase that a lot of people.
But those are, you do the 5 to 7 after that loading phase for your like male clients,
yeah,
right?
absolutely, and then girls will stay around 5.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the size of the individual. It's not gender specific.
Yeah.
But, you know, like someone like you, I might keep you at 7.
Yeah.
You're a little heavier, a little more dense, so fucking jack and shit.
What else? I'm trying to. Okay, let me go to Instagram. Okay, well, when it comes to what brands, we already talked about that, or was that off camera?
No, we didn't talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was earlier.
Best brands for creatine. What creatine should you get?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
at the end
fucking
of the day.
matter.
Creatine monohydrate is creatine monohydrate.
To me, it's like however you can get it is how you can get it in. A lot of people like regular creatine, like can get gritty. So some people like to like mix it with like their pre-workout or intra, whatever it be, just so that
Right.
it's not that like gritty feeling.
Yeah.
And that's why I use the Legion's Recharge, but it's not like you have to buy that one. At the end of the day, creatine is creatine. Just fucking take it.
Time of the day that you take it?
Time of the day, I take mine pre-workout.
Okay.
When it comes to just supplementation in general, I always just say at a time that you're gonna remember to do it.
That's a good rule of thumb, especially for this, because I don't think it necessarily matters. It's one of those things that again needs to get established in your system, right?
Yeah.
And you taking creatine 24 hours prior to a workout or 5 minutes prior to a workout isn't going to refill like that, you know, creatine presence within your muscle cells, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Again, just take it when it's convenient for you and when you can do it consistently.
Exactly. And then another question that I got a ton was, what effects did you notice when you started taking creatine?
It's just all these fucking gains, bro.
I just was fucking swole the second I took
so
it.
jacked. It broke 3 scales. Said like 18 PRs. My girlfriend left me.
Oh.
All these hoes were just all over me. Just,
End of the day,
a
no.
needle just manifested itself into my arm. What?
Creatine, like TikTok has made creatine.
You can edit that out.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I don't edit shit out. Creatine, at the end of the day, is not a fucking steroid, and people on TikTok have made people scared of it. Like me and Spas were talking earlier. I said,
Yeah, that
"How
blew
long?"
my mind actually.
No,
too,
right?
The
He
fact
was
that
like,
there's this stigma and like, you know, this almost like this energy about it that doesn't make sense to me, because when I started taking creatine like 8 years ago, I went to Vitamin Shop, I bought creatine, I read the fucking directions, and I put it in my body.
No,
I didn't think twice about it. And now people are like, oh my God, should I do this? As if it's some like life-altering decision, and it's really not.
No, when I
all
told
that.
Spas that we need to do a little creatine segment, he's like, what?
I was like, for
He's
real?
like, what do you
people
mean? Because I just fucking
don't know
took
what
it.
fucking creatine is? Like,
Yeah, it's just a part of the
Yeah.
equation. Like I say, it's not when you see people that have the perfect body that you want, it's not just their training, it's just not their nutrition, it's not just their genetics, it's not just their supplementation, it's all of the things together. So you can't just think that creatine's gonna make you fucking jacked, because you'll be very disappointed.
Right. Absolutely.
What else? Okay, so this is like a random question, but this girl, she's like, I injured my back and I probably won't be able to live for a few weeks. Should she still be taking creatine?
Yeah, I mean, a few weeks isn't necessarily a long enough time to cycle off, right? Like, if
Yeah.
she were to cycle off, I mean, she should realistically probably do it at least like half of the total duration that she's been on, you know, and people typically run it for months on end, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you would think like a few months would be more applicable
Yeah.
in that situation. If she's just going to take a couple weeks off and dial it back a little, she should
Yeah.
stay on the creatine.
Beautiful. Okay, end of story. You should take creatine, no matter what your goals are.
Absolutely.
At this point, how much you should take really fucking depends on you. But
4 to 7 grams
Yeah.
after a loading phase. Let's leave it at
exactly. If you don't want to load, you don't fucking have to. Just fucking take it. There's not a best brand of creatine. What the fuck else did we just talk about?
Best time of the day.
Best time of the day. Do you?
Nothing in particular comes to mind.
And-
Put it in your pre-workout so it doesn't taste like shit.
No, that's what I do.
Wake up in the morning and, you know, take it and forget about it.
Yeah, whenever you can take it, take it. And that's all I'm answering today because the rest of these questions you don't need to be answering. Or I don't need to be answering.
I can't
so.
even believe there are more. To be honest, no, we're good.
Yeah,
We covered
so
everything.
That's it. If you guys hated Spas, let me know. If you guys liked him, we'll include him in more videos.
All right.